Divine Revelation, the time is over. Ubani Kingsley is a young man that dropped off his education in the university to become an evangelist of the gospel of Jesus Christ a few years ago, and still, by God's standards, was disappointing. He was warned in a revelation about the urgency of the end of time, and the need for the real children of God to stand up, or risk losing their precious salvation. This testimony is an excerpt from the book, Time is Over, by Brother Ubani Kingsley, on whose permission we are reproducing it. He hails from Abia State, Nigeria. He had his second encounter with Jesus Christ and eternity a few years ago, which he published titled, Another Warning. He preaches salvation to the core and he is dedicated to bringing deliverance to God's people. He is the founder of Fountain of Salvation Ministries International. Take time to read this encounter in Brother Ubani's own words with all concentration. Frankly, you will never be the same. Other heaven and hell experiences from Ubani Kingsley, End Time Revelation and Another Warning. An angel is sent. A young evangelist met me at EcoHA Shopping Center Aba to book me for a program. He has been interacting with me on a cell phone before we met with each other, and each time he would call me, he would want to know the days I would have a chance to visit his evangelism team and share my experiences in heaven and hell with them. When I saw him, I was amazed because I thought that the person who has been speaking with me on phone was an adult, but I was wrong. The person wasn't an adult but a teenager. More so, I thought he was sent by his father or his evangelism leader to come and meet me, but he came by himself. Nobody sends him. After a little conversation, he said that he wanted to snap me with his camera, and I consented. On the 15th and 16th of September I visited the evangelism team. When I came there, the audience were children except for the parents of the young evangelist and the parents that brought their children to that place and whose number was not up to 7. Having seen that my audience were children, I brought down the language low and applied some communication skills according to their level in order to capture their interest, and I did. To the glory of God, those children were crying to God for mercy on their souls at the end of each message. As I was looking at these children who were crying for God's mercy, tears started rolling down my cheeks, and I tried and held myself, but I couldn't hold myself again. When I got to my house, I began to cry. The reason why I was crying in my house was that the judgment of God is very strict. As far as heaven and hell are concerned, God does not want to know whether the person is a child, a teenager, or a youth or an adult. It is His word that will stand against the person in judgment, as it is written in John 12:48. He that rejected me and receiveth not my word hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same will judge him on the last day. God has nothing to do with unbelievers or people who are not born again, because already those people are dead or condemned while they are still alive. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. John 3:18. But we who have accepted Jesus Christ as our only Savior, our judgment will be very strict. The Bible says the time is come that judgment to begin at the house of God, and if it first begins at us, what the end will be of them that obey not the gospel of God. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? 1 Peter 4:17-18. When I saw those children crying, I remember that even though the Bible has said that their angels are beholding the face of their Father in heaven, yet God will still judge them strictly. Then I asked myself, what will happen to me if I don't pass the standard of God? After asking myself that question, which I know that the answer is that even though I am a preacher of the salvation message, if I don't pass God's standard, He will send me to hellfire. Then I began to cry for mercy upon my soul, because it is better for me to cry now that I am alive than to cry in hellfire, because God will not listen to me. Instead, His anger will burn more on me. Child of God, I cried for mercy for a long time, but there was no answer that could give me relief. Then I started asking God questions. Understand that as a child of God, you have the right to ask God questions because He is your Father. You are not a bastard as far as you are born again genuinely, but you must be very polite and respectful in your question to God. You must not be harsh in your language to Him. I was asking God whether He will abandon me at last to suffer in hellfire. Please understand me. I didn't ask God such a question only because I saw the children crying and I remembered how God carries His judgment out, but because I was having a feeling that something was wrong in the supernatural. The 16th of September 2012 was the second and last day I visited the evangelism team. When I finished sharing my experience in heaven and hell, I went back to my house. I could not sleep. I was restless. I knew that if I miss heaven after preaching the gospel in this world, Satan and those muscular ugly beings in hellfire will torment me greatly. As a result of that, I started crying again and asking Jesus whether he will leave me behind when he takes away his people. As I was doing that, an angel appeared to me physically. Please, I would like you to understand that the reason I said physically is that I was not sleeping, but I was awake. When the angel appeared, my room became very bright. The angel was wearing sparkling white clothes, and he had wings. For clarity, that night there was no electric light in the house. The Power Holding Company of Nigeria (PHCN) interrupted it, and the light went off. And what I used to illuminate my room in such a situation was torchlight. I switched off the torchlight at that very moment because the battery was not strong, it was weak. In addition to that, there was a very bright light around the angel, but there was darkness around me. It was as if I was in spiritual darkness, and he was in the spiritual light, and it seemed there was a separation between us. Then the angel called me, Kingsley, and I looked at him, and he said to me, "Your master, Jesus Christ, asked me to pass a message to you." When I looked at the angel, I asked him what the message was all about, and he said to me, "Your master asked me to tell you that you are trying, but he expects you to put more efforts so that more people can be saved before his arrival." Then I told the angel that I have heard him, but that message is not the issue at hand. The issue was whether Jesus Christ would leave me behind to suffer in hellfire when he comes to take away his people. When I said that, the angel said to me, "Kingsley, I am a messenger, and I don't have an answer to your question. I only came to deliver the message I was asked to deliver to you." Having heard the angel, I was grieved. I needed to know whether Jesus Christ would leave me to suffer in hellfire after all my efforts to make him happy, because on 13th day of May 2012, when he opened the book of life and showed on the screen the names of people who were obediently and faithfully waiting for the coming of Jesus Christ and their pictures, my name and my picture were not among them. And when he opened my file of work, nothing was written in it. Then he was very angry at me, so I wanted to know how he will treat me on the last day, and that was the reason why I was crying. As a result of the angel's inability to give me an answer to my question, I asked him about my master, Jesus Christ, and he told me that he was in heaven, and I was more grieved. Then I said to the angel, "I now understand the reason why I was having the feeling that something was wrong in the supernatural," and he asked me what was it that I understood. And I told him that it was because my master has abandoned me, and that was the reason why he sent him, the angel, to me. If it were not so, he wouldn't have sent the angel to me. Then the angel said to me, "Kingsley, you are wrong," and I told him that I am not wrong but right, because ever since I came into a relationship with my master, he has never sent an angel to pass a message to me, and now that I needed him most, he did not come. Instead he sent him, the angel, to me. But the angel still insisted that I was wrong. Then I said to him, "If you said that I was wrong, go and show me my master." When I made that comment, his countenance changed. He became angry at me, and in that mood, he asked me, "Do I want him to take me to my master?" And I answered, "Yes," to him. I didn't want to know whether he was angry at me or not. All I wanted was to see my master, Jesus Christ. Then the angel said to me, "Kingsley, since you insisted that you want to see your master, you will certainly see him now." When the angel said that, he came closer to me and touched me, and I collapsed. I became like a dead person on the bed when my spirit came out of my body. When that happened, the angel held me on my right wrist. He said to me, "Now, let's go and see your master," and we left my room to heaven. The invisible line. When we left my house, we started walking up to heaven. But at a point, I saw an endless queue of people who were moving toward the gate of heaven. When we came closer to them, I started looking at them. Some of those people were looking at me as someone they knew, but I didn't recognize any one of them. All of those people were shivering in fear as they were moving to the direction of the gate. The gate is so small that two people cannot enter into it at the same time. One person must wait for the other person to pass, whether he is going inside or coming outside. Another thing I want you to know is that the gate was opening by itself. There were things that caught my attention when we came closer to the gate of heaven. The things that caught my attention were two invisible bold lines which were red and black in color, and either of these lines was appearing on the ground, and either of the lines was appearing when each of those people in the queue crossed the points where the lines were positioned. However, from my observation, the position of the lines could be about 5 feet or 60 inches from the gate of heaven. The width could be about 1 foot or 12 inches, and that line is the line of judgment that was separating the people who were not born again from the ones who were born again. Another thing that caught my attention was this: if the person who crossed the line was born again, the line would appear red in color, which was an indication that the person has accepted Jesus Christ into his or her life. Then a voice would say, "Move forward and enter the gate." But if the person was not born again, the line would appear black in color, which showed that he or she did not accept Jesus Christ into his or her life, and a thunderous voice would say, "Depart from me, I know you not. Depart from me, depart." When the word, "depart," was been exclaimed by the voice, a terrible wind came and carried the person to the direction of hellfire. Beloved of God, there is danger ahead of us. While I was there, I noticed that the number of people who were asked to depart was greater than the number of people who was asked to move forward and enter the gate. What I am saying here is that the people who were asked to move forward and enter the gate were 2 in number, while the people who were asked to depart were more than 2,630 people. As those people were moving forward to the point where the line was located and was being asked to depart to hellfire by that voice, a man stepped on that very point, and the line appeared black in color, but there was silence. Then an angel walked to him and called him, "Francis," and asked him, "Do you know the reason why the black line appeared?" And he said no. Then the angel asked him to open his hands, and he opened them. When he opened his hands, there were some drops of blood in his hands. Moreover, the angel asked him, "Do you know the reason why there are drops of blood in your hands?" And he said, "No." Then the angel told him that the reason is that the souls he was supposed to have saved were dead, and each drop of blood represented a soul that was lost to hellfire. Your work was important to you than the souls that were perishing. You have destroyed yourself. When Francis heard that, he began to shiver in fear, and then I heard the thunderous voice which said, "Francis, depart, I know you not. Depart from me, depart." And immediately a wind whose sound was like the sound of a flying jet came and carried Francis to hellfire. 4 people came to the point and were asked to depart, and whom the wind carried away to hellfire after Francis was sent to hellfire. But when the 5th person reached that point, the line appeared black, and the angel called him, Jonathan. Mr. Jonathan was a pastor. The angel asked him, "Jonathan, do you know why the line appeared black in color?" And he said no. Then the angel told him that it was because he was pleasing his senior pastor and was displeasing God. The angel told him that he was displeasing God by working in the church as a pastor instead of an evangelist. He was called to be an evangelist, but he became a pastor only because his senior pastor wanted him to pastor his church. Then the angel said to him, "Jonathan, you disappointed God, and you have been cut off from God's mercy. You will have yourself to blame." As soon as the angel told Jonathan that he will have himself to blame, a thunderous voice said, "Jonathan, I have rejected you forever. I know you not. Depart from me, depart." And a wind came and carried him out to hellfire. After Jonathan was carried by the wind, a man reached the point where the line was, and it appeared black in color. This man's name is Emmanuel Ikechukwu Okoye. When the line appeared black in color, the angel asked him, "Emmanuel Ikechukwu Okoye, do you know the reason why the line appeared black?" And he said no. Then the angel lifted up his right hand and a screen appeared. When the screen appeared, the angel asked Emmanuel to watch the scene on the screen to see whether he can recognize the person on the screen. When I looked at the screen, I saw that it was displaying where Emmanuel was drinking alcoholic drinks secretly and in different places. Emmanuel Okoye was dumbfounded when he saw himself on the screen. Then the angel asked him, "Emmanuel, do you recognize the person on the screen?" And he said yes, that the person was him. When he confirmed that he was the person, the angel told him that it was because he was drinking alcoholic drinks that made the line to appear black in color. When Emmanuel heard that, he said to the angel, "But my pastor told us that it is not a sin for somebody to drink alcoholic drink." Then the angel asked him who his pastor was, and he told him that his pastor was Pastor Chris Oyakilome of Love World Ministries, aka Christ Embassy. Having told the angel who his pastor was, the angel told him that the name of the person whom he said was his pastor was not in the book of life because he was encouraging sin against God and the Holy Spirit. He has never brought a single soul to heaven ever since he became a minister, but he has been sending many people to hellfire. Then Emmanuel asked the angel to forgive him, but the angel replied to him that he has no power to forgive anyone, he is only a messenger. The only person that has the power to forgive him is Jesus Christ, and moreover, there is no sacrificial price he, Emmanuel, paid when he was in the world that would have attracted a second chance for him. Therefore he must go to where he belongs. When the angel had said that, a thunderous voice said, Emmanuel, you have no part in me. Depart. And immediately a wind came and carried him to hellfire. A woman reached the invisible line, and it appeared black. When the black line appeared, the angel asked her whether she knew the reason why the line turned black, and she said no. Then the angel told her that she didn't complete her restitution by giving back the items she collected from her neighbor, and the woman told the angel that she was her neighbor and they share things in common. But the angel asked her, did you return her belongings to her? And she said no. Then a voice said to her, depart, I know you not, and a wind came and carried her to hellfire. A lady reached the point and the line appeared black. The angel asked her whether she knew the reason why the line appeared black, and she said no. Then the angel said to her, look at your blouse, and she responded that she did not see anything wrong with it. Then the angel asked her, Dorothy Tope, can't you see that your blouse did not cover your breast? You practice whoredom. You exposed your body to the world. You are immoral, and you must go to the place prepared for people like you. When the angel said that, a thunderous voice said, I know you not, Dorothy Tope. Depart from me. Depart. A man reached the point where the invisible line was, and it appeared black, and the angel asked him, James Ogbonna, do you know the reason why the line appeared black? And he said, number. Then the angel said to him, the reason is that you were busy doing the networking business. You were advertising and marketing the products of Satan, and you have no time for God. You did not find out from God the things that involved in the business spiritually, you went and started it. Did you know that you belong to Satan? And James said no. Then the angel asked him to open his hands, and he did, and in his palms were written the figure, 666. The angel also asked him to open his tongue, and he did. On his tongue was written the figure, 666. When James heard all these things, he was surprised, and as he wanted to say something, a voice said, James, you are my enemy forever, depart from me into eternal damnation, and instantly, a wind came and carried him to hellfire. A man reached the point in which the invisible line was, and it appeared black in color. The angel asked him whether he knew the reason why the line appeared black in color, and he said no. Then the angel told him that the reason was that he was owing to his in-laws. The man asked the angel how he was owing to his in-laws, and the angel said to him, Charles, when you went to your in-laws to marry their daughter, you made some payment and presented some items which you were asked to present, but you promised them that later you will bring the remaining money, and which you did not do until you died. You are owing your in-laws, and no one who is owing will enter into the kingdom of heaven, therefore, you must go to where you belong. As soon as the angel told Charles that he must go to the place where he belongs, a voice said, Charles, I know you not. Depart from me now. And a wind came and carried him to hellfire. A white man reached that point where the line was, and it appeared black, and the angel asked him, Jeffrey, do you know the reason why the line appeared black? And he said no. Then the angel said to him, Jeffrey, you are a murderer. You were worshiping God with a gun in your hand. You served God, but you were a police officer, you were carrying your gun about. Nobody who carries gun has a part in heaven, and nobody who belonged to a force, whether police force, army force, navy force, will enter heaven because they carry a gun and their heart is filled with evil. They love killing, and their camp is filled with human blood. They killed both innocent and guilty people, and any person who is one of them, even if he is righteous, he will equally partake in their sin because the person belongs to the group of murderers. Nobody has the right to kill anybody, no matter the offense that person must have committed. Furthermore, the angel asked him, Jeffrey, do you know you are the one that destroyed yourself? And he asked the angel, how? The angel told him that an angel came to him one morning when he was about to enter his car for work, and told him to resign, that he will die very soon, but he pursued the angel. When Jeffrey heard that, he said that it was not true, that no angel was sent to him. At this point, another angel came out from the gate and walked up to him. Then the first angel asked him, "Jeffrey, can you recognize this angel?" He said no. Then the first angel told him that the second angel was the angel that was sent to him at the front of his house. As Jeffrey wanted to argue, the second angel lifted up his hand and a screen appeared. They showed him how the angel came to him. The angel did not appear in the nature of an angel, but he came to Jeffrey like a small boy and Jeffrey pursued him. 6 months later, Jeffrey was shot dead by armed robbers. When Jeffrey saw that, he began to ask for forgiveness, but a voice said to him, "Depart into eternal damnation." When the voice said that, a wind came and carried him out to hellfire. Then the second angel went back. A young boy reached the point where the invisible line was, and it appeared black. The angel asked him, "Gidio Forchica, do you know the reason why the line appeared black in color?" And he said no. Then the angel asked him to look at the screen. The screen was the one which the second angel used to show Jeffrey himself. When I looked at the screen I saw Gidio Forchica kneeling down and bowing down to the image called the Virgin Mary. Gidio Forchica was confused when he saw that. Then the angel said to him, "Gidio Forchica, you are worshipping idol in the world." But Gidio Forchica told the angel that what he was doing was not idol worshipping. He also said that the image was not an idol, rather it was an image of the Blessed Virgin Mary. He also told the angel that his parish father, Rev. Father Fred, did not tell them that it was a sin to bow down to the image, but he told them that it is a way of honoring the Virgin Mary for keeping herself for God which made Jesus Christ come through her. Then the angel told him that nobody who bows down to the image or calls it the Mother of Jesus Christ will enter heaven. Furthermore, the angel told him that nobody under the Catholic Church will make heaven. Gidio Forchica asked the angel why he said that, and the angel told him that the headquarters of the Catholic Church which is at Rome is the seat of Satan. It irritates God because it is filled with idols. The Catholic popes drank with Satan, Lucifer, from the same cup, and that the Catholic priests and the reverend fathers and their reverend sisters are committing sexual immorality among themselves. Some with the same sex and some with the opposite sex. They are abominable before God. The Holy Communion the priests are giving to their members is not holy at all but defiled. They are giving the communion out with hands that are full of immorality and bloodshed. Gidio Forchica, the angel called him, "You have no part in heaven, your place is in hellfire," and immediately a thunderous voice said, "Depart from me." And a wind came and carried him to hellfire. When Gidio Forchica was carried by the wind, 11 people reached that point, and they were carried by the wind to hellfire. The angel did not talk to them. Then I turned to the angel that was taking me to heaven and asked him, "Please, why did the other angel not talk to those people?" And he said to me, "Kingsley, those people were Muslims. They did not believe that Jesus is the Son of God." After these 11 people, came the 12th person. She was a woman. She died at the age of 43 years. When she reached there the line appeared black in color and the angel asked her, "Angela, do you know why the line is black?" And she said no. Then the angel told her that she was a thief, and she said that she has never stolen in her lifetime. Then the angel showed her on the screen when she went to her neighbor's container of salt and collected a little quantity of salt which she added to her soup. When Angela saw it, she told the angel that it was just a little salt she collected from her neighbor container and the angel asked her, "Angela, did you tell your neighbor that you collected some salt from her container?" And she said no. The angel again showed her crown to her on the screen, and she was happy. But the angel told her that she will not be given the crown, instead the crown will be given to somebody else. When Angela heard that, she began to ask for a second chance, but a thunderous voice said to her, "Depart, I know you not." And a wind came and carried her to hellfire. As soon as Angela was taken to hellfire, a white lady came there, and the line appeared black in color and the angel asked her, "Sandra Johnson, do you know why the line appeared black?" And she said no. Then the angel said to her, "The reason is that you always open your hair any time you are praying and also whenever you are going to the house of God. No woman is expected to leave her hair open any time she is praying, even whenever she enters the house of God, because it is a dishonor to God, and any woman who does not cover her hair in the house of God or when praying is going to hellfire. Therefore, you are guilty of the offense." As soon as the angel said that, a thunderous voice said to her, "Sandra Johnson, depart from me, I know you not." And immediately, a wind came and carried her out to hellfire. The next person that came to that point was wearing a Chelsea Football Club uniform. Then the line appeared black in color, and the angel asked him, Christian Orgy, do you know the reason why the line appeared black in color? And he said no. Then the angel said to him, the reason is that you always come to church service late, and you don't spend time studying your Bible, but you were spending time watching movies and football matches. Now look at your clothes, you are putting on the symbol of Satan on your body. On hearing that, Christian Orgy began to look at his clothes. But the angel pointed the logo of Chelsea FC on his jersey and told him that the animal inside the logo is a dragon and it represents Satan. Then the angel said to him, Christian Orgy, you have no part in the kingdom of heaven, you will go to hellfire. Before Christian Orgy would open his mouth to say something, a voice said, I know you not, son of the devil. Depart from me into eternal damnation. However, while I was watching those things that were happening there, the angel said to me, Kingsley, you are wasting my time. It is enough. Let's go and see your master. When said that, I followed him, and we went inside the gate. The angel took me to a street which was totally different from the street Jesus Christ took me the previous times. But I did not say anything or ask him any question because ever since I insisted that I wanted to see my master he was angry at me. However, the main reason why I did not ask the angel question was that I was afraid that since he was angry at me, and I was not expected to be there, by that time they might decide to send me to hellfire just as they did on the 13th day of May 2012.